She never stayed in my life, not in the way stories promise or dreams insist on. There was no forever in the ordinary sense. No shared routines, no growing old side by side. And yet she stayed. She stayed in the quietest place inside me, where time does not argue and absence does not erase. Loving her taught me that presence is not the only way love survives. Sometimes love chooses the heart as its home and learns to live there alone. At first, I did not understand how something so real could end without truly ending. She walked out of my days, but she did not leave my nights. In the silence after conversations stopped, I found her everywhere. In the pause before sleep. In the breath I held without realizing. In the ache that arrived without warning. I learned that memory can be a companion. Sitting beside you when the room is empty, reminding you of warmth even when your hands are cold. There were so many words I never said to her. They gathered inside me like unfinished letters, like sentences that never found a voice. On quiet nights, those words would surface, soft and heavy, asking to be spoken. I would imagine how she might have listened, how her eyes might have softened, how silence between us might have felt full instead of lonely. Accepting that those words would never reach her was one of the hardest lessons love ever taught me. Loving her without her presence changed the rhythm of my life. I stopped expecting happiness to arrive loudly. Instead, it came in small, fragile moments. A familiar song, a passing scent, a memory that visited without pain. The heart learns strange ways to adapt. It learns how to hold joy and sorrow together, how to smile without forgetting, how to move forward without truly moving on. Some nights, the loneliness felt unbearable, not because I was alone, but because I knew exactly who was missing. Absence has a shape when you love someone deeply. It fits into every empty space, every unanswered question. I would sit with that absence, letting it speak, letting it remind me that loving her was never a mistake, even if it never became a life we shared. Time did not take her away from me. It only changed how I carried her. The sharp pain softened into a dull, constant ache, not something that demanded attention, but something that quietly existed. I stopped fighting it. I stopped asking why she could not stay. I began to understand that some people are meant to change us, not remain with us. Their role is not to walk beside us forever, but to teach us how deeply we can feel. In learning to live without her, I learned to live with myself. Love stripped me bare and left me honest. It showed me how vulnerable a heart can be and still survive. Even in her absence, she shaped the way I loved, the way I trusted, the way I opened myself to the world. She was gone from my life, but she lived on in every tenderness I carried forward. There were moments when I wished I could forget her completely just to feel lighter. But forgetting felt like a betrayal, not to her, but to what we were. So I chose remembrance instead. I chose to let her stay where she belonged, not in my present, but in my heart. Love does not always need hope to survive. Sometimes it only needs honesty. The quiet nights became my teachers. In the stillness, I learned how love can exist without expectation, how devotion can be silent, how acceptance does not mean the absence of pain, but the presence of peace. I stopped waiting for her return and started honoring what had been. That shift did not erase the sadness, but it gave it meaning. Now, when I think of her, it is not with desperation, but with gratitude. She did not stay in my life, but she stayed long enough to change it forever. And maybe that is what eternal love really is. Not staying, not claiming, not holding on, but leaving something behind that time cannot undo. She lives in the way I pause before speaking, in the way I understand loss, in the way I love more gently now. She is not beside me, but she is within me. And though my life moved on without her, my heart never asked her to leave. Love did not end. It simply learned to survive in silence.